us not waste any more time and say hello to the Gypsy King himself. Look at that man. Wow, what a suit that is. Incredible stuff. This is an absolute honor. Tyson, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, it is a pleasure. So, you know, we're a mixed martial arts show, Tyson, but I think that you transcend all combat sports. You're an icon. You're a great star. So it's such an honor to have you on the program. I know you've been doing some media today, so I'm sure you've been asked about this, but I would be remiss if we don't start with this. Deontay Wilder's knockout on Saturday. How impressed were you?
Very impressed. You know, Deontay Wilder's got a lot of power, and if you stand in front of him, he will knock you out. And that's what Brazil did, and he paid the price.
Do you feel like, in a way, that knockout, and considering how quick it came, is actually a good thing for you? Because you stood in there, you took all his shots, and of course, he couldn't do that to you, so it almost ups your stock in a weird way?
Not really, because styles do make fights, and different styles react different to different fighters. So you can't really go too much on the performance over Dominic Brazil compared to mine, because Dominic's got a totally different style to me. And like I say, what style might work for Dominic Brazil may not necessarily work for someone like myself.
He took a lot of heat before the fight about some of his comments about wanting a body on his record, wanting to kill Brazil.
Yeah.
What did you make of all of that?
I didn't buy into it too much, because a lot of fighters have to create opinions and try and sell themselves and get people talking about the stuff. So they do crazy things. So I know Deontay Wilder's not a bad man, and he's a family man. He doesn't want to kill anybody. So I don't read too much into it, but nevertheless, it is a combat sport, and people do happen to die in the ring now and again. But it's not a nice thing to do, because when two men's in there fighting for their life, the last thing you need is someone to get severely injured or worse.
How close were you guys to actually rematching right away after your great fight back in December?
We were very close to a rematch. We had contracts, they had contracts, we were trying to agree terms. Then all of a sudden I had a massive deal from ESPN, and they made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Wow.
No pun intended.
So you actually had the contract for the rematch. When would that have been?
That would have been in May, I believe.
Wow. And so you were the one who walked away from the deal?
Deontay Wilder apparently signed a 3-fight deal before I signed an ESPN deal.
Okay.
He signed a deal to fight Dominic Brazil, Luis Ortiz, and Adam Kavosky. So this is all done before we even put pen to paper.
And how many fights is your ESPN deal for?
I've got a few fights, yeah, on ESPN. And hopefully I'll stick with ESPN throughout my full career.
And so for as long as you are with ESPN and he has his deal with Showtime, will you guys never fight? Is there no way that you could...
No. If the fighters are willing to fight, then why should a network get in the way?
Right.
Fighters use that as an excuse, a.k.a. Anthony Joshua. He uses that a lot as an excuse. But I believe if the fighters really want to fight each other, as I proved, I was on BT Sport. I came over to the United States and boxed on Showtime. You know, these fights can happen. Why can they not do a dual broadcast? It's been done before. It'll happen again. Deontay Wilder cannot run from Tyson Fury forever. The fight has to happen.
Do you think that if you win on June 15th, that there's a chance of rekindling this flame and doing the rematch?
This rematch has got to happen. Got to happen, but it won't be in May, June, July, or August. This fight, I'm being told, is likely to happen in March, April of next year.
Oh, really? Why March, April?
I've no idea. Well, that's the dates I've been given.
Okay. And where would it be?
I've no idea.
Okay. But you would probably fight, if all goes well on June 15th against Schwartz, you'll probably fight in between then, correct?
I'll probably have another couple of fights in between then, if all goes well.
You want to be active?
I want to be active. I'm not playing anybody else's games. You know, I've got to think about me and my career and my family and my life. I'm not going to put my career on hold because I'm waiting for XYZ people to take fights. You know, I'm taking my career in my own hands, and destiny, I hold them in both hands. And when the time's right, we'll do the fight.
Are you worried that after what happened on Saturday and Joshua fighting in just a couple of weeks, that they'll try to make that fight now and that you'll be the odd man out?
Oh, I'm not worried at all. I'm the Gypsy King. I'm the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. All roads lead to Tyson Fury. No matter who wins out of them two, they can never be considered the best heavyweight unless they beat me. You know, I hold the lineal championship of the world. And to be the man of their era, they have to beat Tyson Fury. And nobody's managed to do it in 29 fights so far.
How do you feel about Anthony Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn. I've seen on social media you're kind of going back and forth with him, his father as well. How do you feel about him? Do you feel like he's the roadblock in all of this?
I'm not too sure. Promoters do their job and the fighters do their job. But as for me to get involved with arguing back and forth with some nonsense over rubbish, really, with Eddie Hearn and his dad, it is what it is. What I suggest Anthony Joshua does is get his nuts out of Eddie Hearn's handbag and use them to gain respect in the heavyweight division.
If you were presented both opportunities, the rematch against Wilder, the mega fight against Joshua, both mega fights really, but the opportunity to fight Joshua, which interests you more right now?
I'm not really too bothered. I'm only concentrating on June the 15th at the moment. I can't underestimate Tom Schwartz because at the end of the day, this is his welcome to the big time party. He knows if he can beat me, then riches awaits him and stardom. So I'm not going to underestimate Tom Schwartz because he could potentially be a banana skin for me to lose and gain what I've worked hard for all this time.
The last I checked, I think you're a minus 6,000 favorite going into this fight. Does that play tricks on your mind? Everyone's saying like, oh, you're just going to walk through this guy. You're such a huge betting favorite. Everyone talks.
I don't go with what people say. I'm not a sheep. I'm a leader. So whatever people say, I go the opposite. Because everyone said I was getting knocked out by Deontay Wilder. Everyone said the bookies, every boxing journalist in the world said I was getting knocked out by Vladimir Klitschko. But I keep defining the odds. So if I can do it, then so can anybody else if they believe it enough. So I just don't go with what people say. I have to be proven. These facts have to be proven to me. And we'll see what Tom Schwartz is made of. And I don't know how anyone could be made a 6,000 to 1 underdog on a boxing fight in heavyweight division because we know it only takes one punch and it's over. This is heavyweight boxing.
As you know, the sport of MMA and the sport of boxing, while similar in terms of like what actually goes on in the ring or cage, the structure is completely different, right? We were just talking about the promoters and the networks. Our sport is different. And Teddy Atlas recently said that, he wishes that boxing was more like MMA, where it was like these different organizations. And I think a lot of people, including myself, actually, I disagree with Teddy Atlas. I think boxing's model, while it can be filled with politics and all these issues that we were just talking about, is actually healthier for the boxers themselves to make the most amount of money possible. Do you agree with Teddy? Like, do you think that it would be better if boxing was more like MMA in terms of the structure, or do you disagree?
I'm not really too sure. It's opinions again, isn't it? Somebody's opinion. And if you asked 100 people that same question, I'm sure everybody would have a different opinion on the situation. But that's Teddy's opinion, and I respect that because he's a very knowledgeable man in the fight game.
What about your opinion?
There's a lot of different organisations in boxing, and every one of them have a different set of rules. So whichever organisation you're working with at the time, you have to adhere to those rules. And at the end of the day in boxing, sooner or later the big fights do happen, as we've seen time and time again. Sometimes we have to wait a while, but nothing of any good happens overnight. Everything good in life we have to wait for. So when it finally does happen, these big fights, we must enjoy them while they're here.
Are you an MMA fan?
Yeah, I love watching MMA fights. I think it's very exciting, especially when the guys are standing up exchanging punches. I'm not so big of a fan when it's rolling up and down the floor. I like it when they stand up and kick and punch each other. I think that's really exciting.
Are you a fan of Conor McGregor? He has not fought as much these days and has gone in some trouble here and there as far as outside of the cage stuff. What do you make of what has become of him right now?
I think Conor's transcended the game of MMA. He set precedents. He's set the game on fire. I think MMA, he's definitely a game changer in MMA. He's crossed over, he's fought Mayweather, he's become a massive superstar. He's done very, very well. He should be very proud of himself. And, everybody has troubles in life, and it's not what troubles we have, but it's how we overcome these troubles and learn from them.
I understand recently you met up with another great MMA fighter, Darren Till, and you both were very complimentary of each other on social media. How did that come about?
Yeah, we were both in Manchester recently, having a little walk around, and I bumped into Darren Till. Me and Darren signed both with BT Sport in the UK. I'm from Manchester, he's from Liverpool, not too far apart. And I'm a fan of Darren Till. I like his attitude towards the game, and he's been a look his last couple of fights. But, it's like I say, anyone can lose to a better man on the night. And it's not how we lose, but how we come back from it. That shows our character.
Could you tell me who's on your suit jacket over there? What is that? It's hard for me to see.
Yeah, I have a list of lineal heavyweight champions from the past.
That's incredible.
A lot of guys on there.
Wow. And are you on there as well? I mean, I see your logo there. Is your picture on there too?
Yeah, there's a picture of me as well. We're holding all the belts. George Foreman, Mike Tyson, Holyfield.
I love it.
Holmes, Spinks.
Who made that for you?
I have a tailor who made this, designed it for me. We was going for something flamboyant this year, so we have plenty of show-stopping suits, all in time for Las Vegas.
I love it. And your story is as inspirational as it gets. I'm wondering, after the Wilder fight, you said all the right things. I mean, it was just amazing to see all the weight that you lost and your mind, how you changed your mind and everything like that. Did you ever, are things going well for you? Are there ever moments where you feel yourself getting down again, where you have to sort of, get yourself back up? You need someone to help you. How are you doing mentally these days?
Mental illness never goes away. You can't defeat it. You got to learn to manage and maintain, and I seem to be doing a good job of that at the moment. I train on a daily basis, even whether I'm boxing or I'm not. That's my medication. And it seems to work. And I'd encourage anybody who's suffering with mental health problems to take up working out, because it sets off an endorphin in the brain and it gives you that feel-good factor.
How much do you expect to weigh for this fight against Tom Schwartz?
I'm not too sure, really. The weight is very unimportant to me. As heavyweight, you can weigh whatever you want. Whatever I feel good at, wherever I feel strong and fit at, is what I'll weigh. I'm weighing about 270 pounds at the moment. Still got 4 weeks to go, so naturally when you're training twice a day, 6 days a week, you lose a couple of pounds, so probably 265, I'd say. The
reason I asked is because you appear, I've seen a lot of your videos, you appear to be in phenomenal shape these days, and so I was wondering if you were slimmer or were going to be slimmer.
No, I'm not slimmer. I'm the same weight as I've been for a while.
Okay.
But I've just maintained this weight for a long period of time now, so you fill out and you get stronger at the weight.
Have you ever heard of a heavyweight MMA fighter named Francis Ngannou? Are you familiar with him?
Francis Ngannou's African guy, puncher, isn't he?
Yeah.
I've seen him, yeah.
I was told through the grapevine that he fancies a fight against you, a MMA versus boxing fight, and I was wondering what you thought of that, if that was something you would entertain.
Entertain what? Me going into MMA or him coming into boxing?
Him coming to boxing.
I don't see it as a challenge. When you've got the heavyweight champions of the world who can't challenge me in a boxing match, I doubt an MMA fighter can challenge me in a boxing match. Just like I probably couldn't challenge him in an MMA fight. Right. It's a different sport completely. Although it's stand-up contact, it's total different. Boxing is not MMA, and MMA is certainly not boxing. It's totally two different games. And as we've seen time and time again, when an MMA fighter goes over to boxing, they lose. And when a boxer goes to MMA, they lose. So it's not a game where you can be a world champion boxer and a world champion MMA fighter. I don't think it really works. Two different games.
And I understand.
Horses for courses.
Right, of course. And I have a hard time disagreeing with you on that one as well. I understand your younger brother, is a boxer as well, but he's also somewhat of a heartthrob, right? He's going to be on some sort of reality show, island show or something like that. Is that accurate? Yeah,
he's going on a TV show called Love Island.
Wow.
He's a good-looking young kid.
Unbelievable.
And I think he's going to be a little hit with the ladies on it.
He is something else.
He clearly doesn't look like me, because I look like an ogre.
I think you're being hard on yourself, but wow, I saw photos of him. I mean, he is just, he's a showstopper, that guy. Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah, he's only just started his professional career. He's 2-0 at the moment. He's only 19 years old, so big future, but it's going to take a lot of sacrifice and dedication to achieve goals.
And if you don't mind me asking, you both share the same parents?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Well, he's a light heavyweight size.
Right. I just, I maybe if you like cut his hair or something, you kind of look similar, but you don't totally look similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Right. Well, what else are you doing in New York? Do you have a lot of more media? Do you have promo shoots? What do you got lined up?
I've been doing media since 8 o'clock this morning. I think we've got till 4:30, and then we're off to Vegas. Just get back into training for the fight.
Okay,
because at the end of the day, all the media is good, but you go in there and get knocked out. It's not what you want to do, is it?
That's right. And I'd be remiss if I don't ask you before I let you go, because I know we have to wrap this up, if you can just join me in this. I don't know if you're in the mood right now, but I'm just going to try, okay, Tyson? I hope you don't hate me for this. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Join my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Come on, Tyson, let's hear it. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing,
"This'll be the day that I die."
Yes, Tyson.
This'll be the day that I die.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks for
Tyson.
having me on the show.
Thank you, Tyson. All the best to you,
See
June
you all
15th.
soon, 15th of June.
All
All
right.
the best.
Thank you. There he
Bye-bye.
is, the Gypsy King himself, Tyson Fury.